Hello, hello. Welcome to Crazy E Games. This is part 3 of 9 of my Japan loot show and tell. Hope you enjoy. Alright, next up is the Nier Automata series, I guess, or maybe video game. This is the last of the video game section. So I actually really love the Nier Automata video game, and I think recently there was an anime that got released or completed, so that's why there's so much Nier Automata stuff while I was there. Because I think the game came out like quite a while ago, over 5 years ago, I think. So yeah, the very first thing I got was this Chibi Eve charm, and this is, I think, one of the first gachapons I got on my trip. It turned out to be a character I didn't really care about, since he's kind of like the bad guy. I really wanted to be. But yeah, I got this one in Yokohama near the beginning of my trip for 300 yen. And at the time, I thought, oh, it's Nier Automata. It must be rare since it's not really that popular of a series, or not that new of a series. So I didn't try too hard to get this. But as I went through my trip, I kept seeing more of these popped up, and it kind of got to me, so that I started pulling more, and I got this Pascal and Friends from the same series, or from the same series of gacha, and this was also 300 yen. Most of the gacha I get is like around 300 to 500 yen. There's a few that like is cheaper, and there's a few that's more expensive, but they're kind of rare cases. I really wanted the 2B, so I kept pulling, and I got this 9S. And I was like, oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. The next one's going to be 2B, but unfortunately, I got yet another 9S. But yeah. And then if essentially, or eventually, I was able to pull the 2B that I wanted. And once I pulled 2B, I stopped pulling for this set. Even though, yeah, there's actually more characters in this set. But these 5, where did the Eve go? Oh, he got buried here. These 5 gacha each were 300 yen. And hopefully I've been tallying all this up while I'm in editing, just to keep like a count of how much I spent. But yeah, there's these 5. I will put them here-ish. I totally did not think this through. The rest of the set for that gacha, for the Nier Automata, you can get a 2B and 9S in a field of this special flower, which I don't remember what they're called off the top of my head. There's this character, I think is from the anime. Her name is Lily, apparently. I think she might be mentioned in the game, but I don't know if she actually makes an appearance in the game. But yeah, there's like, that's the Pascal and Friends, Eve. I think that's Adam. A2 is there, and then I got the 2B and the 9S from the set. So yeah. Alright. Next up is this other gacha of another 2B, but this is more of an acrylic stand. And it's like chibi as well. The art style is slightly different than the other 2B. But I saw it and I thought, hey, maybe I'll pull on this one too. And I immediately got 2B, so then I didn't pull on it anymore. So I felt really lucky with this one. So yeah, I'll put that right there. That one was 300 yen as well, and it was a gachapon like capsule thing in Yokohama. And if I just quickly show off what else you can get that from that series, it's right here. There's quite a bit you can get. 2B9S A2, a 2B9S combo, the Commander, I believe that is, and then a bunch of robots. Is that Pascal? Pascal, other generic robot enemy type, and then the I think those are the operators, I think. And yeah, I immediately pulled the 2B, so I was really happy about that. So next up is this Rotund, I call it. Rotund 2B from Animate in Nara. And yeah, she's super adorable. She's got these teeny tiny little feetsies. teeny tiny little arms, but she's like super rotund. She's not like super soft like the other plushies in the back, but she's got some girth to her. And it looks like they actually gave her like eyes underneath her blindfold, so she can peek at you every once in a while, but we got to cover that up so she gets her regular looking style. And yeah, there she is. This one, really adorable. I really like this one. I originally thought this was more expensive, but this one turned out to be 1,100 yen. I thought it might be in the 2,000 yens when I picked it up, and when I rang it up at the till, they're like, oh, this much, 1,100 please. And I was like, sweet. So yeah, this was a nice one. I'll put her right here. Maybe I can kind of crunch all this. Okay, last thing from this series is actually something very, very pricey. This is one of the more pricey items that I've purchased throughout my trip, and it is this Tamashii Nation SH figure art 2B, and it is an action figure. And let's open it up right here. So if I already opened it up off camera once just to like make sure everything looks good. For whatever reason, when I bought it, this face was flipped around, so I thought I'd fix it for this footage. But yeah, as you can see, you can have the figure here on the box, and actually it's too hard to take out. I'll take it out behind the camera. So here she is. She has a sword. She comes with the bot. I forgot exactly what his name was, but he has a name, and you can pet him in the game. And a bunch of different faces without the blindfold. And yeah, so this is how she looks like out of her box. I don't know why, but this plastic here is soft and nice, but then this plastic here is like super sharp, and I don't know why they didn't just like use the same. Maybe it's hard to have structural integrity with something so thin for something soft. I don't know. But yeah, this is sharp, and I got stabbed by this a bunch of times while I was playing around with this figure. But yeah, this is 2B. I really like this like bob hairstyle that she has, and her gray hair. It like her character kind of like really comes together with the color theming and her outfit and everything. And I really like that. So yeah, here is her in a bit of an action pose. I've swapped out her face a little bit. It's actually really simple to swap out her face. You just kind of take off her hair like this. It's kind of hard to keep her in camera while I do this actually. But yeah, you just take her hair off, and then you can take her face off. And it looks so weird now. You see the back of her skull. But yeah, I'll just put this in real quick. And yeah, I used one of her faces where the blindfold is off, and I swapped her hands, gave her a sword, and yeah, she was from Akihabara in the Tamashii Nation store in Tokyo, and this figure costed me 8,800 yen. So she's really pricey compared to all the other things that I got. But yeah, I still got a lot coming, so. The pod here, oh, his name is Pod, right? There's a pod. That's how Pod looks like, pretty detailed. He doesn't come with any like abilities or anything, effects, so he's just kind of on its own. Yeah, these are all of her hands. Oh, I'm holding her hands. Ooh, I feel so special. I'm just gonna put her back in her box. But this is the figure. So there was actually a crazy story about this. When I was in Yokohama at the beginning of my trip, I saw her available in one of the pop-up stores for Tamashii Nation SH figure arts and stuff, and Bandai Namco themselves. But at the time, I was like, oh man, she's pretty expensive. 8,800 yen, that's pretty pricey. And I don't want to be hauling this everywhere as I travel, so I didn't purchase it at a time. But as I went into the trip and was shopping a bit more, and was more accepting of like buying things I'm having it to haul around, like as I already moved from city to city already, she was actually sold out everywhere else that I saw. That kind of affected me in buying her. Like, oh, now that she's sold out, I really want her, kind of thing. So it looks like a lot of the places people might have just bought it all up because they knew she wasn't gonna be popular, and there was like maybe some scalping going on. Oh, but maybe there's so much people in Japan that she was just sold out. So many people liked the 2B and the Nier Automata series. But yeah, when I went to Tokyo, which is like the last city I was in before I would go home from my trip, I went into the Akihabara Tamashi Nation store, and there was a bunch of 2Bs left. And also, it was funny because she sold out in a lot of other places, but 9Ss, there was tons of 9Ss left. And in a lot of cases, the 9Ss was already like starting to be discounted. Like they were both at 8,800 yen, but the 9S was already in some places like discounted to like 6,000 yen since there were so many of him left. But anyway, I went on a little bit of a tangent there. When I went to Akihabara in the Tamashi Nation store there, I was like, oh, there's so many 2Bs left. This is my chance. It's destiny. I must buy her. And when I bought her, at the till, they're like, oh, we're preventing people from scalping, so you're gonna have to give us permission to take a picture of you and see if you show up on our database. So they took a picture of me, and it seemed like what they were doing is preventing people from buying it all up. So they actually have like facial recognition just to make sure like not the same person is going around every store buying everything up, which is really crazy. So yeah, that's a cool little story, a cool little experience when it comes to this like 2B figure herself, and it kind of made buying her a little bit more special too. She's a little bit more special to me because of that whole experience. But yeah, moving on. So yeah, that was Nier Automata. I really like that game. Maybe I will one day do like a Let's Play series on that. It actually is a really interesting game. It's a bit deeper than most people might think. People might think it's only like a sexy girl fighting robots, but the story, the lore, and everything is actually a lot deeper than you'd think. All right, well, this video was all just the Nier Automata stuff that I got. So, going into part 4, we will be moving on to some anime-related stuff, like things from anime series. So, hopefully, I'll see you there in the next part.